Alright, hey guys, what's up? Codex here, and it's my pleasure to bring you guys back to something that I actually really love doing, but I think I'm actually going to be, or try to be, as consistent as I can with this, because unfortunately for the forum, last time, I actually got like halfway through last season of RWBY, and I felt really bad because I had to say that there was going to be a new season of it when I didn't even finish everything prior. I mean, I had thoughts about it, but that was done in a different way. That was done on Tumblr, so I was like, it's not too, like, good of a way to, like, execute a finish. So I'm here now, and of course, this is from Season 2, so, yay, I can finally talk to you guys about RWBY Volume 4. Wow, it's come a long way. And it's really interesting too, because, their animation software has changed, and it looks like that in terms of quality, a lot of things have come down. So that's really good. Anyway, I think it's time to actually start talking about the chapter. And the first chapter is called The First Step. What do you know? It's the first chapter, and we gotta start off everything at the beginning. So, one of the first things that I want to talk about was Nora and Ren's sort of like little argument that was kind of at the beginning. It was like, oh, do you think the team should be called Ranger, RWBY's leader, and then, or Juniper, keeping their same team name as I had before. And it's interesting because I actually preferred Juniper, because I actually, it's true, the majority of their team is there. RWBY's the only one, but then Ren did have a good point where it's like, oh yeah, it's her request, so we're helping her. But then again, I think it's probably just because I miss Pyrrha so much, so I was like, yeah, why don't you keep the name the same? But that's about it. So yeah, that was actually a bit bittersweet to me, because I was like, oh, it makes me think about Pyrrha. Of course, she's not here, but I'll talk about that. And next thing after that was the brand new Grimm that we just got to see. Well, first thing that's really interesting is that they mentioned like an actual term for one. It was called a Geist, and that was like, it almost looked like a Reggie Grimm, as most people refer to, but it was almost like a spirit that embodied some sort of inanimate object, and then it became empowered. So the Geist is almost like the spirit. So it was really interesting because they didn't technically kill the Geist. The Geist just escaped at the last minute, and then technically they were safe because they weakened it, or they scared it off. So yeah, that was really interesting. Now I'm like thinking, oh, in the origin stories, when they were talking about all the cities and stuff, or the regions, it's like, I wonder if there's going to be any aquatic Grimm, because it's like something most of them were talking about. And next, which is probably the thing that has gotten the most attention by far since the first chapter is aired, is Salem's Council. So there are about, I think, let's see, there's Salem, Cinder, Dr. Watts, Tyrion, there's one other person I'm forgot his name already. But yeah, anyway, it's really interesting because Tyrion looks like this very psychotically insane individual, because he was sitting with his knees up in his seat. And then we have Dr. Watts, who of course seems very knowledgeable. He seems like a strategist. I unfortunately forgot the name of the other character. But yeah, it actually scared me a lot, because they actually seem very powerful, and we have no idea about like what they can really do. For all I know, it was just scary, because it's like, whoa, okay, Cinder's not alone. Salem's like the villain of this volume for sure, and she's got a lot of people behind her. So yeah, that just by far scared me alone. And like the whole vibe when Salem like graciously, ironically, opened the door and no one made a sound, and then she was like, oh, you can take your seats now. And yeah, I was just like, whoa, okay, getting this whole vibe off her. And in relation to this whole like Salem Council thing, we have Cinder, and as we can see now, Cinder has been like incredibly injured due to the whole incident, which has now been named the Fall of Beacon, because of course, Beacon Academy has been abandoned. Everything's been destroyed, and it's been confirmed that Osmond's been killed by Cinder, as they were mentioning in the chapter. But now, almost like a trade-off, now Cinder seems very, very frail. Like, she seems so weak now, because now Emerald has to be used as almost like a translator, because now all Cinder can do is like make these raspy cough noises and kind of groan and moan and all these sorts of things. That's her only way of communicating. So that's like really, really like surprising. But it's like, hey, that's payback for Pyrrha. That's what everyone's saying. And then also to tag on to that Pyrrha part, I actually forgot to write this in my notes. It's really, really like, I thought it was like a great thing, but at the same time, of course, I felt sad too, because John got all of his armor and his weapon upgraded by the blacksmith at the village that they were defending, and then of course he used Pyrrha's tiara, or it's not really a tiara, it's like a her crest thing that goes around her, like her headband, as to improve his weapons. So I was like, oh, all this does is make me miss Pyrrha more. But yeah, I thought that was great. And now everybody's wondering if there's gonna be like some sort of power up or something like really. There's gonna be like a really interesting dynamic to his character now, which I'm really interested in. And to top this all off, it's like we saw Weiss for about 3 minutes. She looks super, super pretty. Of course, in her heiress outfit, I'd say Princess 2. And all we know for sure is that she was called out by her father to meet, and that's about it. So yeah, I really want to know what you guys thought about the chapter. It's just so great to have this airing again, man. Like, I can totally feel the energy of everyone else watching it. It's like been exposed everywhere, and like all the thumbs up in the world for like the animation crew, the music. Casey Lee Williams and Jeff Williams, man, their music's outstanding, and like it's so good to hear all the voice actors again back at their usual roles. Like, it's just really good to have it back. So do I have any predictions or theories for the next chapter? All I can really say is that I just do really hope Weiss gets reasonable amount of screen time, because she was teased at the very end. Gosh, she is pretty, and I'm just really hoping it'll like kind of go in like a circle, because this is almost like Game of Thrones in a way, where it's like character arc, then character arc, then character arc, and we like go in order. But hopefully they'll cross paths, because I mean, it'd be really sad if the team never really came back together. So yeah, that's all I gotta say, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me for Forum Season 2. I'm gonna really try to do this earlier so that I don't get lazy about it, and that'll be more consistent. So yeah, I'm probably going to do this about either 1 or 2 days after the volume airs, and then yeah, we can chat. So as always, stay on with you guys. I hope to see you again. Bye.